to another My Creativity Friday. It's me, Miss Hendy today, and we are going to be making some Play-Doh.
There are lots of different ways that you can support your child during this activity. Let your child have a go first. See if they can follow the video, observing and commenting using simple vocabulary on what they are doing. It doesn't matter if they get it wrong, as you can work together to try and fix any problems. This activity is great for helping problem-solving skills. You could discuss with your child, why is it sticky? What could we change? What happens if we put two different colours in together? There are many different ways that you can do this during this activity. For example, you could take something away from the activity if you've already set it up. You could ask the child where they need to go to find the item, or see if they notice what is missing. Alternatively, you can allow your child to try and find all the equipment and ingredients themselves, if it is safe to do so. This will help promote their independence. This activity is great for some number work as well. You can talk about the amounts you need to make the Play-Doh. For example, we need 2 cups of flour. Can you count them out for me? You can even develop the activity to make more Play-Doh, asking your child how much of each ingredient you would need if you wanted double the mixture. Play-Doh is a great start of the day activity for regulation, but it also warms up the hands ready for writing or other fine motor activities. It is also a great fine motor activity in itself, developing different parts of the hand through different motions. Making Play-Doh is a great fun craft activity that can be done again and again and be modified each time. So with that being said, let's get started.
So first of all, it's really important that you make your Play-Doh somewhere where you're okay to make lots of mess. I've chosen my kitchen as it does get a little bit messy, but make sure if you're doing it somewhere else that you put down a tablecloth or it's outside and you can easily mop it up or tidy up the mess. The ingredients you need for making Play-Doh are really easy to find at home. So the first thing you need is some plain flour, some oil, some food colouring, salt, cold water. You will also need a mixing bowl and some cups for measuring out your ingredients. Also need a tablespoon for measuring out your oil.
I would recommend washing your hands before starting this activity and also before any use of the Play-Doh and after any use of the Play-Doh so that no germs end up in the Play-Doh.
Before you get started, you'll probably want to roll your sleeves up and maybe wear an apron or an old t-shirt. I've chosen to wear my work clothes today, but if you have an apron, that would be even better. For the first step of making our Play-Doh, we will need a bowl, the flour and the salt. So I prepared mine beforehand just to make it easier. So we need 2 cups of flour. I'm going to pour them in. Ooh. Ooh. In there you go. And then you will need 1 cup of salt. And then we need to mix them in. The next step, we need to add in the cold water, oil and the drops of food colouring. So I've got 1 cup of cold water, which I'm pouring in. And then 1 tablespoon of oil. It doesn't really matter which oil. I chose vegetable oil. To be really careful with this. And then your drops of food colouring. Now, it says to use 2 drops of food colouring, but you can use whatever you think to change the vibrancy of the colour. So I'm going to put in quite a little bit to make it very red. You can choose whichever colour food colouring you like. And then mix that in as well.
It's really important to make sure that you mix all the flour and the other ingredients together well.
Now I've mixed it all in, it starts to look a little bit like the Play-Doh. It's a little bit sticky at the moment. Don't worry if the colour's not right, you can add in more food colouring if you need to.
When putting the Play-Doh on the side, just consider that your child may be tactile defensive, which means they don't like touching messy things. Alternatively, your child could wear gloves or put the Play-Doh onto the side hand over hand, so you are touching the Play-Doh and they are still involved in the process. You only need to knead your Play-Doh for a few minutes.
Once you've made your Play-Doh, I would leave it in the fridge for a few hours until you are ready to use it. You will often hear or have seen that our children take part in something called Play-Doh gym at school. I'm going to give you a little demonstration now.
Banging the Play-Doh is quite a fast activity. It gets all of the big movements out right at the start. Kneading the Play-Doh is really good for warming up the whole of the hands, particularly the palms and some of the knuckles. Rolling the Play-Doh is a really good way of warming up the palms again, but also it's a good pressure activity. In addition to this, the coordination of rolling your hands backwards and forwards is also good. Rolling the Play-Doh into the bowl is also just as good as rolling the Play-Doh into a sausage. This will take some coordination from your child to keep it inside their hands. Pinching the Play-Doh is really good for isolating the fingers and working on finger strength. Get your child to maybe use 1 or 2 fingers or use all their fingers at different times. Squeezing the Play-Doh is the last activity as it's a more calm activity and it's getting those last squeezes out before the end of Play-Doh gym. You can put any type of music that you want to Play-Doh gym. I would advise a mixture of slow and fast songs. As you can see, my Play-Doh is a little bit sticky, so you can always add extra flour to resolve this issue.
Play-Doh, roll the Play-Doh, roll the Play-Doh, roll the Play-Doh, roll. Whoops. Next step is to put your Play-Doh onto the Please send in your pictures and your videos to your class teachers so we can have a look at you making your own Play-Doh. See you next week. Bye!